Each and every Wednesday at sportsmemo.com, you will get a 33% discount on everything you fit into your cart using coupon code CART33 when checking out. Whether it's a daily package, a one-day all access, a 3, 7, or 30-day package, a full season of sports of your choice, or a full 12-month from your favorite handicapper, you will save 33% using coupon code CART33 on Fill Your Cart Wednesday. You can fill your cart as many times as you want each and every Wednesday. And even better, coupon code CART33 never changes and will become active each week at 12:01 and last until the clock strikes midnight.
Welcome, everyone. This is the Predictive Playbook. This is the NBA Triple Double Show, brought to you by SportsMemo TV. I am your host, John Ryan, and I am very glad to have my regular co-host, Ronald Cabang, in the house. And we're going to break down 3 NBA games on a rather difficult day in NBA basketball. This card is not really to our liking, and I'm sure there's a majority of people out there agree. It's a tough call. We have situations in Portland now with the trade of C.J. McCollum to the Pelicans, which is great for the Pelicans franchise. But we're going to go right to that game, Ronald. Lakers versus Portland. Lakers are coming off a humiliating beat down by the Milwaukee Bucks. That actually, humbly said, was one of my 4% winners last night on a 5-2 night. The Lakers, just appear to be like a dysfunctional, depressed type of team right now. And when you get comments in the press from the likes of LeBron that say, we're not on that level, no, we can't get to their level. And then he rhetorically said to the reporter, is that what you want from me? So you could tell it's getting a little testy out there, and Russell Westbrook has been made a cheerleader now for his team, and I mean that with all due respect. He would love to be out there on the court, and I certainly didn't mean anything derogatory calling him a cheerleader, but he's been relegated to that role in the fourth quarter. So the Lakers, Ronald, come into this game as 8.5-point road favorites to the Portland Trailblazers. The total is 225 points. It opened there. It's now 222.5. I'm kind of leaning towards the under in this game, and I'm not really sure why. My models have the under, but other than that, I don't know why I'm playing this game at all. But do you see any betting opportunities here?
Yeah, this one's a tough one. I don't think either team is actually sitting today as far as the trade deadline goes. After what LeBron said yesterday about them, not kind of being at that Bucks level, I don't think LeBron's content with that. So I think they might be making a move or two today. And then the Blazers, obviously, they just made a trade, and they could possibly still be making moves to continue to build around Lillard if he's not traded. And then you got the guys that they just traded for, like Josh Hart and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who we don't even know if they're going to play today. And you could see yesterday the Blazers, they struggled offensively against was it yesterday? Did the Blazers play yesterday? Yeah. So
Yep.
they both teams played yesterday, and the Blazers struggled offensively. Lakers, at least they were able to put up some points, but obviously they played against one of the top teams in the league, who are in really great current form against the Bucks. So to me, I understand your look on the under here, but for me, I think there is a fire under the Lakers right now, and I think they take advantage of this spot against a team that's pretty much quitting on the season. I know the line moved from, I think it opened at -6 to 8.5, but I think to me the look here is the Lakers. I really think they come out with some fire today.
Do you have any concern with 67% of the bets being on the Lakers, and that it seems too obvious to just bet whoever is playing Portland tonight?
That's the hard thing to do right now, to look at these percentages, because if you look at the last 3 days, all the favorites, pretty much over 90% of the favorites have been covering, and I don't know what the reason is behind that. But yeah, I think the Lakers here, they just have too much to lose as far as a team. LeBron also personally, I just feel like they're in a situation here where they can't kind of look ahead to the Warriors, who they have next. Um, they just got to take care of business today, especially if Blazers continue to be shorthanded without all the guards that they just traded for. Um, I just feel like if they don't take care of the Blazers here, then they're pretty much done for the season.
Yeah, that's a great point you made about the favorites covering, and that's a trend that it'll turn. We just don't know when. But
Mm-hmm.
yesterday, I believe I'm correct in saying this was the largest margin of victory for the league of 20 points in 20 years. So you had blowouts galore yesterday. You had Atlanta winning by 21 over the Pacers. The Sixers game was really the only close one, and that was a 5-point loss to the Suns. Boston won by 35 against a Brooklyn Nets team, which I don't even know what is going on there. It's just insane.
Yeah,
Memphis
yeah.
wins by 24.
Mm-hmm.
Dallas wins by 20. Houston loses by 13. I mean, double-digit losses across the board, with the exception of the
Mm-hmm.
Sixers.
Yeah.
So
One thing that I want to mention, I was talking to a buddy yesterday about it, is why I went 4-1 yesterday, and one of the
great.
games that I was like, why didn't I bet it, was the Atlanta Hawks against Pacers. And it was one of those things where I was looking at the percentages, right? The bet percentages. And sometimes you feel like the book is trying to trick you, but at the same time, if you do your part and do your research, and it goes, and you trust your research, you kind of just need to go with it. Because I wanted to take Atlanta, and I just ended up not doing it because I was like, oh, I think the books are trying to trick us. Something's gonna happen, something weird's gonna happen. All the favorites have been covering, and now it's time for a dog. And sometimes you just learn from those things.
Yeah, it's well said. I mean, it's no doubt. I was on Atlanta, and I was worried for that reason, that I thought this doesn't feel right now all of a sudden. That line was 12.5 at game time. When I published it for the clients, it was 10.5.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the feeling that you don't want, and we do worry about our clients. It's more than just us, of course. But what a day yesterday. Like, the only competitive game was the Sixers and the Suns, and that was a tremendous game. But the rest of them were, yeah. My thought, Ronald, here is that we're only a few days away from the break. We're a few days, we're basically within 24 hours now of the trade deadline. The Nets have the Harden issue with Philadelphia, and that rumor now. Now that is involving Korkmaz instead of Maxey. And do you think that the fact that you're coming down to the break is just like some of these teams that are losing record teams are just kind of like going through the motions? I hate to say that, but it feels like that.
Yeah, but the one thing too is, if you look at some of these records, these teams that are in, like, especially on the West Coast, on the Western Conference, where it's really top heavy, a lot of the teams with like 40% win percentage at this point are still considered, in it for the playing game. So you can't really. I mean, look at Sacramento and Indiana, who made a big blockbuster trade yesterday, where you feel like, well, these both, why did they do this when they're not, playoff contenders? Technically, they are. They still are considered in the play-in consideration. So, I mean, it's really tough at this point. I think it's a little bit too early to tell whether or not teams are mailing it in or not. We'll see in the next week or so.
And before we move on to the next game, I have to ask you this question, and you can not answer it either if you don't want to. But do you think the Sixers will move Ben Simmons by the deadline?
Oh man, that's tough. I heard they wanted to. I really want him to move because he's a wasted talent. Defensively, he could help a lot of teams. Even offensively, he's a facilitator. If you don't put pressure on him to score and have to shoot the three ball, he's gonna do his job. And I would want to see him be successful. I don't want to see anyone not successful. So
I
yeah,
agree.
I think they do make a move. Hopefully, to a team that he can help out.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see him running the court with Kevin Durant. That That would be somewhat scary, I think. But let's not speculate. We'll just wait and see what happens. So our second game today in the NBA triple double show, we're going to take a look at the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are traveling to Sacramento. Sacramento is 20-36 for this season, 14-17 at home, 15-16 against the number at home. The Timberwolves here are 29-25, 4 games over 500. They've been one of the better teams since the calendar switched over to 2022. They're 28-25 overall against the number. They're 14-13 with 1 push against the spread in road games. Where do you see an opportunity in this matchup?
Yeah, this is another one of those games that might be affected by the trade deadline too. I feel like the Warriors, just like the Pelicans made a big push yesterday on the trade. The Wolves are in, I think, 7th in the Western Conference right now, so they have a squad that could potentially make a move. And the Kings just made a trade, and we don't know if Sabonis, Lamb, and Holiday are going to play. They got a few guys who are a game time decision. From injuries like Bagley and Holmes. Well, I guess Holmes isn't really injured, but he's a game time decision tonight. And they just played each other. And Fox is going to have his second game back after a long layoff. And to me, this one's a tough one. I think it's pretty tight. I know they just played yesterday and the Wolves kind of dominated that game. But I think I have a feeling the Kings will put together a pretty good showing today. I think the line really is kind of spot on here on the second game of back-to-back. But I think they can make this game go over. The Wolves are 5-2 to the over on second games of back-to-backs. And they're also 8-1 to the over as away favorites here. So I think if the Wolves take a lead early in the game, the Kings kind of continue to push the pace to try and keep up with them. I think the pace would be towards an over game here.
I'm leaning that way myself. There's a couple of angles here I'll mention supporting the over. Minnesota is 21-12 to the over when facing a team that is averaging 23 or more assists per game just this season. They are 32-18 to the over when facing teams that are attempting 24 or fewer free throws per game. And one last one, 16-5 to the over the last 2 seasons when facing defensive teams that are forcing their opponents into 15 or more turnovers per game. So I do like that. And it's not like Sacramento has a great defense that's forcing more than 15 turnovers per game. It's because of pace. Mm-hmm. And if there was ever a game where they, just up and down the court, I think you got this one pegged exactly right, Ronald. Let's get on to the last one here. And our last game is the Warriors. And this is the one game that I do like on the card. It's a marquee matchup. It doesn't involve anything but trying to figure out who's going to be playing tonight on the injured list.
Yeah.
But Utah comes into this game a 2-point favorite. So far, 65% of the bets are on the Warriors plus the 2, which makes sense. I mean, I can see the attraction of the betting community being on Golden State. Utah has not played all that well over, certainly since February 1st. Their record is 33-21, 12 games over 500. They're 18-10 at home, but 10-17 with 1 push against the spread in home games, and that's just horrible. The Warriors here are 41-13, trying to chase down those Suns, 16-9 on the road. They're 12-11 with 2 pushes against the spread in road games. Where do you see the opportunity in this one?
Yeah, this is one of the better games of the night. One that for me, I probably will just be watching. But the Warriors, they're going to be without Iguodala and Draymond still, and it looks like I just double checked. For now, Clay is out for rest. I think it has to do with them being on a first game of back-to-back. And then on the Jazz side, Gobert is still out, and he's that guy that we talked about plenty on the show who impacts the game for the Jazz. They have Mitchell back, and they're on a three game win streak now. But a lot of the trends that I was looking at last night really go against the Jazz here. And but it's really tough because you know the Warriors are missing some key guys. Jazz are just now putting things together without Gobert, and maybe maybe they turn the corner there without him and figure out how to play especially with Donovan Mitchell back. This one's a tough game for me. I would want to say. I would want to say that maybe maybe an under game here. You know, both teams take it really seriously, whether they have players playing or not. It's sort of like a key matchup, like a playoff type atmosphere where they take it seriously and play some defense. So maybe an under here on the under 220. Was it 223 now or
Let's see, 222.
222? Yeah, maybe an under game here.
I'm going to check Wager Talk odds page. That's wagertalk.com/odds. I think it's personally my favorite odds page because it has all the books right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
And in this matchup right now, as we speak, Golden State, we are at 224.5 actually at DraftKings.
Oh, wow.
Pinnacle has gone to 224.5. So this thing's starting to steam, and Heritage just went to 224.5 as I speak.
Mm-hmm.
So that, yeah. So, selling into this line movement, I think makes a lot of sense because I think you're right. It's a little bit slower tempo. It's an important game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing Utah right now -1.5, and 73% of the bets now are on Golden State. So we've had a flurry of activity here suddenly, and I don't see any news causing that. But sometimes I guess the flows, just like in the stock market, sometimes the volume is higher at certain times of the day, and you don't know why.
Mm-hmm.
But this looks like this could steam. I don't know. What's your gut feeling on the total? Do you think it can get up to like 220?
225 or something, 226?
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. Maybe it's because Gobert is out. They don't think Jazz defense could keep up with the Warriors. But the Warriors, they're 15-7-1 to the under against teams with a winning record. They're 15-6 to the under against a team they just beat in their previous matchup. What else is it? 16-7-1 to the under after a double-digit win. So there's a lot of trends, especially for the Warriors side, that point to the under here. I don't think it's just tough for me. I mean, the higher the number goes, the better it is as far as value if you want the under.
Yeah, and on the side, I'll mention this for people who want to know. I don't have a feeling or even a selection or a lean for the side, but if you like the Warriors, you'll like to know that they're 18-7-1 against the spread when facing a team with a winning record on the season. Conversely, they are just 3-9 after scoring 100 or more points in their previous game. So that's the most recent trend. Now the Jazz are 6-19-1 against the spread when facing a team with a winning record. That's not so hot. 3-12 as a home favorite. That's tough. But let's move on to forcing ourselves to give out a best bet here, Ronald, on a card that is very difficult.
Yeah.
But you have days like this. I'm going to start here. I'm going to take the under in the Lakers Portland game. Lakers are 24-11 to the under as a road favorite. They're coming off that humiliating loss last night. I know it's back-to-back. But I do agree with you, Ronald, that I think the Lakers, if there was ever a time for them to really put down the defensive screws against a team that is has been dismantled, for lack of a better word. We don't even know who's playing tonight for Portland. If there was ever a time for the Lakers to play defense and get an easy win and hold an opponent to less than 100 points, it would be tonight. Yeah. So that will be my show best bet is the under in the Lakers-Portland matchup. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything for us?
Oh man, this is this is a tough one.
You can pass.
Yeah, let me pass on that. Maybe your look on the Lakers Blazers under though. That's I kind of like Because I lean towards the Lakers, possibly a look to the Blazers under team total. Um, just because
Good idea.
just because they're struggling offensively, we don't know who's playing for them. But I think the Lakers, I really feel like they're gonna come out strong today against a team that they should dominate completely, from beginning to end. But in case they don't cover that spread, I'm pretty sure they could limit Blazers to under their team total.
Yeah, I agree. And I just looked it up on the wagertalk.com/odds page. 107.5 under, paying 111 VIG, that's very good, and that's at Pinnacle. So we'll jot that one down too, and keep everybody posted throughout the afternoon whether one of us is going to take that to the window. But I'm leaning that way because that might be better than actually playing the game total under. Anyway, Ronald, that'll conclude our show for today. As always, I appreciate your time, and I appreciate everybody taking the time to watch our show as we continue to grow with more subscribers and followers on SportsMemo TV. It's really exciting for us to be providing things that apparently are actionable sports betting data and facts. And we're becoming proud of that. So thanks again for watching. And we'll be back on Friday with another edition of the NBA Triple Double Show. So until then, best of luck to everyone. And bet with your head, not over it. And may all the wins be yours.
Each and every Wednesday at sportsmemo.com, you will get a 33% discount on everything you fit into your cart using coupon code CART33 when checking out. Whether it's a daily package, a one-day all-access, a 3, 7, or 30-day package, a full season of sports of your choice, or a full 12-month from your favorite handicapper, you will save 33% using coupon code CART33 on Fill Your Cart Wednesday. You can fill your cart as many times as you want each and every Wednesday, and even better, coupon code CART33 never changes and will become active each week at 12:01 and last until the clock strikes midnight.